You know, when I first started my career as a journalist in the mid-1980s, 83, 84, some of my colleagues said, well, if you're going into sports coverage as a primary occupation, you're going to have to write stories that about the Olympics where Canadian gold medal favorites often choke, just like Debbie Brill did. Well, that's kind of rough to put that on Debbie Brill, but she was a main example of why, especially in the 1970s, all her gold medal favorites at the Olympics either came up short or instead of winning gold, won bronze or silver. And this could also be connected with Elvis Stoico, with Brian Horser, people like that in the 1980s. Now, Debbie Brill, pound for pound, probably the greatest high jumper in North American history, definitely the greatest high jumper in Canadian history, the creator of the Brill Bend, which was sort of like her version of a Fosbury flop, the way that she went over the bar kind of backwards. She had a bad and a good reputation in the media. They called her kind of the flower child of the Canadian track and field scene, and her behavior at the 72 Olympics drew a lot of support and drew a lot of ire because it was very complex. We're going to get into that in a second. Now, Debbie Arden Brill, born in the beautiful BC community of Mission on March 10th, 1953, was the darling of the track and field, literally, as a teenager in the late 60s, early 70s. Now, at the age of 16, she became the first North American woman to clear 6 feet, which was comparable to Bannister's 4-minute mile. Her unique reverse jumping style, which is now almost exclusively the technique of elite high jumpers, was called the Brill Bend, and was developed by her when she was a child, around the same time as Dick Fosbury was developing the similar Fosbury flop in the USA. Now, Brill came to major attention when she won gold for Canada in the high jump at the 70 Commonwealth Games and at the Pan Am Games in 71. She eventually finished 8th at the 72 Summer Olympics, even though being a major gold medal favorite, then quit the sport in the wake of the Munich massacre, returning 3 years later. She won gold at the IAAF World Cup in 79 and at the 82 Commonwealth Games. She has held a Canadian high jump record since 1969 and set the current record of 1.99 meters in 82, a few months after giving birth to her first child. Now, Brill was born in Mission, one of 5 children of a Canadian father and American mother. She developed her unique style of jumping as a preteen on a family farm when her father made a landing pit containing foam rubber, which, if you look at the old high jump pits, it did include rubber, but that bouncy area. I think styrofoam and different stuff. 50 years later, she described in published reports, it was a natural extension of what my body was telling me to do. It was a physical intuition. It wasn't anything taught. The technique, which involved jumping over the bar with her face in the sky and landing on her back, rather than the straight-on jump over the bar and trail leg comes back, was dubbed again the Brill Bend. Her clubmate style was unique until he learned that an older American athlete, Dick Fosbury, was becoming known for using the same technique. Now, she started competing provincially in BC in 1966 at the age of 13. The following year, she competed at the Canadian Nationals, and her first international competition was in 68 at age 15. In 70 at age 16, she became the first woman to hit 6 feet in North America, including Mexico. Now, Brill has held continuously had the Canadian national high jump record since '69, establishing her first Canadian record when she was 16. She set her final Canadian outdoor record in September '84 with 1.98 meters, or 6 feet 6 inches. Her indoor record of 1.99 meters, a little bit over 6'6", was set in '82. As of 2017 and into the Olympics, Brill's Canadian records still stand. She won the gold medal at the first Pacific Conference Games in '69 and won the same title in '77. Now, the 70 Commonwealth title was in Edinburgh, and she was presented with the gold medal by Queen Elizabeth. She won the 71 Pan Am Games, but came in 8th at the 72 Olympics in Munich. She campaigned to have the Games stopped after the Munich massacre and retired after the Games, becoming disillusioned with the Olympic experience. She returned to competition in '75 and placed 4th at the Pan Ams. At the '76 Montreal Olympics, She was eliminated after falling 3 times at the opening height and was heavily criticized for laughing in a subsequent interview, although she wrote afterwards that she was disappointed by her failure. She placed 3rd at the first World Cup in 1977 and won a silver medal at home in Edmonton at the 1978 Commonwealth Games. In 1979, she won a gold in the Athletics World Cup in Montreal, and she was the world's #1 high jumper for 1979. Now, having been ranked #1 in the world by Track and Field News in 1979, Brill was one of the favorites going into the 1980 Olympics until Canada boycotted because of the USSR military involvement in Afghanistan. In January 1982, Brill established a world indoor high jump record of 1.99 meters in Edmonton, 5 months after giving birth to her first son, Neil. She has a daughter, Caitlin, and a son, Jacob. She is married to a physician, Dr. Douglas Coleman. She was again Commonwealth champion in 1982 at the Games in Brisbane. Now, from 1970 to 1985, in the annual Track and Field News merit rankings, she was ranked in the world's top 10 for the high jump 12 times. Again, the exceptions being 1973, 1974, 1976, and 1981, but with 1976 being the only active year of the 4. She was ranked in the top 5 6 times. Now, in 1983, Brill was recognized by her country with the Officer of the Order of Canada in recognition of being Canada's premier women's high jumper. In 2012, she was awarded the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. In 1999, at the age of 46, Brill also broke the World Masters record, 45 plus, where she cleared 1.676 meters in Gateshead. In 2004, she broke the age 50 plus Masters record by clearing 1.60 meters in Langley. As of 2016, Brill's world age group records still stand. Now, we all know there is no senior Olympics, but if there was, obviously she would win probably every category or event with the high jump she'd be in. Now, records again, 1.98 Canadian National Outdoor, Canadian National Indoor 1.99, World Masters 45 plus 1.76, World Masters 50 plus 1.6. She was 11-time Canadian National High Jump Champion, 68, 71, 74, 76, 78, 80, and 82 to 84 inclusive. 2-time U.S. National High Jump Champion in 79 and 82 because of dual citizenship, and was the WAAA National UK High Jump Champion in 71. Now, medals and top major finishers. Pacific Conference, Tokyo, 69 first place, 1.71. Commonwealth Games 1970s, Edinburgh, 1.78. Pan Am Games, Cali, Colombia, first, 1.85. 72 Olympics, Munich, 8th place with 1.82 meters. Pan Am Games in Mexico, 4th place in 75. Olympic Games, Montreal, no heighted. 77, Universiade in Sofia, Bulgaria, 2nd place, 1.90. The PAC Games, Canberra, Australia, first, 1.88. World Cup in 77, Dusseldorf, 3rd, 1.89. Commonwealth Games, Edmonton, 78, 2nd, 1.9. 79 Pan Am Games, San Juan, 3rd place, 1.85. World Cup, Montreal, 1st, 1.96. Commonwealth Games, 82, Brisbane, 1st place, 1.88. World Championships, 83, Helsinki, 6th place, 1.88. 84 Olympics, LA, 5th place, 1.94. World Indoor Games, Paris, France, 85, 3rd, 1.90. And the Commonwealth Games in 1986, 16 years after her first appearance, she was 5th place in Edinburgh with 1.88. So, just to recount, ladies and gentlemen, Commonwealth Games would have been 5 games, but she wasn't competing in 74. Now, just as a reminder, at the 76 Olympics, she failed at 1.75 3 times in a qualifying round, but mentally she said, I think she laughed nervously, but she said my mind was not in it. Anyway, but Debbie Brill, again, a very intelligent lady, has done a lot for Canadian sport, and she carved her own path. You know, we say goalies are unique, pro hockey goalies. Well, high jumpers are unique. Everybody has a trend. But instead of Greg Joy losing the favor across Canada because of his current job, his statue as a Canadian hero is kind of diminished because of his current job as a person who throws people out of their apartments. Debbie Brill has gained perspective. In 2021, an athlete like Debbie Brill would be more accepted. Again, they call her the flower child of the high jump, but basically she was own woman, like Margaret Trudeau was. That was the two major role models for these type of women back in the day. It was Margaret Trudeau, mostly after she left Pierre, and Debbie Brill, because again, they believed what they wanted to believe in. They weren't judging their success or non-success by other things. Debbie Brill has my big respect because to be so consistent over 2 decades, well actually late 60s, 70s and 1980s, tremendous. And literally she was centimeters away from being the greatest high jumper of all time. But the goal to be number one, it's the challenge of getting there. But you look at the gold medals, and to be technically she was perfect, but mentally sometimes she wasn't there, or the pressure, or other people would see Debbie Brill and say, well, she's here, she motivated other athletes to beat her, is what I'm saying. And that could be good or bad at the same time, because anybody that succeeds at the PAX, Commonwealth Games, Pan Ams, Olympics, Universiade, World Cup, World Championships, World Indoor Games, you got to be good. And I look at the 84 Olympics, it was so close there, 5th place. That was a really good field in 84, with the Russians and Eastern Bloc not there. Left it open for the Western European and North American athletes to do their best. But like I said, Debbie Brill is... don't know if she's been inducted into the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame or not. I have to look it up. If anybody knows, I think she is. But, I don't know. Controversy followed her. Some media didn't like her, and she didn't like the media either. And I don't remember any large type of, what do you call, Ed Greenspan style interview with Debbie Brill. And you know, I remember her as a young kid. She jumped with pigtails. I remember that. When I was a kid, one of the first athletes I remember, I think it was only 4 or 5 years old, was her at the Commonwealth Games in 1970. And I think she had like a unique style. It was probably pigtails, if I'm not mistaken. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like Olympic historical recaps, let us know with a like, comment, and subscribe. Give us any memory of Debbie Brill that you'd like to talk about. For me, it's just the consistency and the very interesting interviews, very cerebral she was a part of. Thanks for listening. Bye.